Yo, 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 welcome to Balcony Talk with the Nelsons, the
Yes,
Love and
honey.
Truth podcast, where real, honest, and meaningful conversations thrive. I'm James Nelson, along with my beautiful wife,
Lene,
and our vision is simple yet powerful.
to provide a safe space for couples to explore the depths of love and truth.
Listen, here, guilt, condemnation, and anger have no place as we explore the intricacies of relationships with love, authenticity, and truth.
Join us on this journey of connection, understanding, and genuine dialogue.
Let's go. One, two, three. Let's
Let's talk
talk about it.
about
It's
it.
time to talk. It's time to
It's
talk.
time to talk.
Listen, first and foremost, I hope everybody's had a great week, month. Hope your year's been great.
Yeah.
We're excited about another episode, getting in the studio, always coming together just to share, talk, and impart. Our vision for Balcony Talk is just modeling what a safe space looks like for couples. And we talk all things relationships,
Yes.
family, kids, friends, work, finances, sex, whatever needs to be talked about in a relationship, that's what we want to talk about. And so we just
Yes.
want to be authentic, true, honest, with all of you guys, but more importantly with us,
Yes.
right? Because it starts with us. If we're not being honest with ourselves and with each other, it ain't no sense in us coming in front of you to talk about anything. So the things
Yeah.
that we talk about are real to us.
Yes.
So we just want to kind of share. But um, just want to check in, see how everything's going. I mean, this is what we do.
This is what we do.
Just we like to check. We check in all the time, but we want to do an on camera check in. So
And I
how are you?
appreciate that. So, talking about my week, we have had, or I have had, an exciting week. It's been challenging, exciting. It's been a lot of that. Jury duty on Friday, from jury duty, letting them know I can't do jury duty for this case because I need to go pick up the grands. Went and picked up the grands, and guys, 6 and 7 year olds will keep you on your toes when you are of age.
Yeah.
And so we've had the grands, and something that I have said to myself, baby, and it's been a little bit different because I didn't do this with my children, being present and in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it was challenging and I felt overwhelmed because I've got to now play the role of I'm a mom with two little children. I got my husband, our adult son is there, like all of that.
It's a lot going on in the
A
house.
lot going on. But you know what? I appreciate that God allows us another chance about certain things because what I said to myself is be present.
Yeah.
And so I've been present all week and I want to say thank you to you because you've made sure that the household has ran accordingly. You made sure that whatever we've needed, you've provided, and that's why I love you.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Good
how
job.
was your week, sir?
No, it was good. I mean, I know the grands were there. I know it's funny we talk about this. We're gonna get into um, having just two of the five grands at the house
Yeah.
for this particular week. Um, but no, it was good. I mean, when we talk about being patient, and we out at the pool when it didn't rain, but out at the
Yeah.
pool. And the thing about it is that like when you got grandkids and being parents, younger parents with younger kids, we were just in a different space. And they
Right.
say like when you become grandparents, it's just different. You got a little bit more patience.
Yes.
Um, and so as they're just running around, and sometimes you'll get a little on edge because I think you were thinking about, well, how's that making me feel?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, yo, they kids, what you expect them to do? We're in a high rise.
But moms mitigate damages. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We make sure that the kids are not being so
But well,
rambunctious.
but here's my point though. They're kids,
Yeah.
and they're running around at the pool. Let them play. Let them jump. That's what they're doing. You don't have to mitigate kids
I
being
meant at home.
kids. Yeah, no, there's certain things. I mean, and we had those conversations. Hey, listen, this is not a wrestling ring, so don't be jumping on my couch.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for kids to have that kind of structure and discipline. You can't just do whatever you want to do with no accountability. So, but no, it's been good. Good week, good work week. Um, working on a project right now, which is coming in the next week or so, and then got a couple other potential clients working. So just
And
been
this
work
is for Global
for
Leadership
Global Leadership
Solutions.
Solutions and my leadership consulting business. So put together a workshop building your leadership brand. So helping leaders understand how to build that professional leadership brand in the workplace, right? How to navigate all of the complexities and just all of the politics as you're elevating throughout your career, right? And so I put together a training, a workshop, kind of a half a day workshop, not kind of, but a half a day workshop. And so I'll be facilitating that shortly. So been excited, just kind of pulling all of that together, working, doing research, drawing from my own experience, pulling in some of the elements of my book, The 6 C's of Leadership, How to Gain Commitment and Buying Early. So just pulling all that together, which is a passion. It's been a passion of mine for years, right? Developing leaders. Like I'm passionate about seeing the next generation of leaders evolve.
Yes.
But again, that's what the week has been like. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
good.
So the next thing that I want to tap into is who is sponsoring today's podcast.
Yeah. Hey, quickly, you guys have seen us wearing the brand.
Excuse me.
This is our clothing apparel brand. It's a positive affirmation clothing apparel company. I am the brand. Hence, I'm doing a building your leadership brand workshop. There's a lot of congruency in what we do, and so part of it is that how do we help promote the idea that you are your own unique brand, whether it be you're an entrepreneur, business owner, a professional. What is your brand in your profession? What is your brand? Whether it be you're an entertainer, whatever, right?
Right.
You are a brand, and so there are certain things that you have to do to ensure and protect your brand. And so this is our brand. I am the brand 365. You can actually go to the website, I am the brand 365. And if you put in the code during checkout, the brand, you get a 30% discount. And I'm saying that now, we're actually working on a new design that's coming out.
Right.
Shortly, we'll launch in the fall. But these are our current brands. We've got the one here that my wife is donning here, the brand, letting you know that you are the brand, reminding you and
I
others
am the brand.
that you are the brand. And then, of course, this is our signature, I am the brand. So
Right.
go check it out. We've got hoodies, T-shirts, tank tops. We've got the hats
Right.
available. But go check it out and support. Put in the brand, and you'll receive a 30% discount on your order.
Yes, and that should be coming across your screen or across your screen. Well, it is your screen.
Yeah.
It should be coming across your screen. And if there are some ideas that you have for the brand that you're like, oh, y'all should do this.
We want to partner. You want to collaborate.
Yeah, we want to know.
Let's collaborate.
Yeah, we collaboration is absolutely one of the 6 C's of leadership.
Yeah.
I happen to be
See how it all
I happen to
weaves
be
and
the
ties
VP
together.
of partner services, so
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that the customer service is intact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
okay.
go. Good
Yeah.
plug. That's
Good
a nice
plug.
plug. Hey, go check it out. So I want to go back to the Grands for a second, being here for a week.
Okay.
Because we were having this conversation. Because, we're big on relationship. And there are things that slowly pull at just the
fibers
connection or the fibers
of a
of
relationship.
relationships, right? And life happens.
Right.
Right? And so when life is happening, what tends to happen is that couples get real busy with all the life stuff. Work, you got new kids, new job, bills, right? Family, other family members, all of that stuff. If you're not properly compartmentalizing or managing that, it can have an adverse effect. So we were talking about the grants because we're empty nesters. Like
And we love it.
we love it.
Love it.
Did our part,
Yeah.
and we love our space, like the energy, the way we got it laid out, the view. Balcony talk was birthed out of that space because the energy was
Yeah.
good. It was peaceful.
Yeah.
We had real conversations. There was no distractions at all. And then boom, you introduce an adult son home from college, and then two grandkids.
And then it's like, ooh,
And then now you got
culture shock.
culture shock, and now you got one of the grands wants to come sleep in the bed,
Yes.
straight up blocking. You know what I mean? So for a week and a half, you lose. So talk about that for a second,
Okay,
though,
okay,
like the
okay, okay.
connection. How
So,
that
so,
Here's a question:
okay.
how life happening can pull couples apart slowly.
Yes. So this has only happened for us for a week.
Yeah.
Whenever and this is what I understand now, and this is why the Bible says God gives you men and people for your life. I get it now.
Yeah.
I'm understanding some things now. It is important that you don't forget about what's important when all those things come into fruition. You want kids, but you need to make sure that you and your spouse are really connected. I know that now. You want to make sure that you don't forget about your significant other, because when little Pete and little Jane come along, guess what happens? They take up all of your time, and they begin to be very selfish. And if you, as mom, buy into that, then we forget about our husbands. And you can't do that. And this is where I think the trick, well, we say the trick of the enemy, or that's your own mind. The trick of the enemy comes in because we need to take care of these kids, or I'm doing this, and we just forget about our spouse. And I have felt disconnected, and I told you that since everybody's been there and all this. I'm like, baby, I feel disconnected. Right. Not that you're not there, but that quality time, because that's my love language, and that's very important that you know your love language.
Right.
My love language is quality time, and so I feel like that's been somewhat stripped away. Yes. And so having said that, it's been a challenge, but the older me understands I need to be present in the moment. And that is where I think that people kind of miss it too. And we say that even as couples, you're here, you're present, but I feel like you're absent.
So far.
Yes.
Right.
Even though you're there. And that's what's happened. Like, y'all, I really feel like me and my husband are somewhat disconnected, and it's a real feeling, and it's okay, but this is where you have to learn to understand and balance what's going on. Okay, these kids are here, this son is here, all of this stuff is going on, but I still have to make time for you.
Yeah.
Because you should not have to suffer because some other things have happened.
Right.
I think that's very important for people to understand.
No, it is. You have to be intentional, right? You got to be intentional, like knowing all of that is going on and accepting, like, because I think I said to you, because they were going to come this weekend, but I said, well, why don't you just go pick them up and bring them early? And so, mom can come get them when they come down for the weekend, but just go get them. You get about a week and a half knowing that, right? So we made those decisions knowing that the kids were going to be here.
You made that decision because you saw me feeling some type of way. So just sidebar. This is why I love you. No, they like this is a great time for me to interject this. You know me, and when I'm saying things or feeling some type of way, I really appreciate that you are observant and you're like, baby, what you saying? Is this what you want to happen? I appreciate that, but I think that you wouldn't do that if I didn't reciprocate. And so I just want to say I appreciate that.
1,000%. I know you would. And so there's no sense in me knowing that you have a desire for something and I have the ability to meet that and not do it and just ignore it. Knowing that, hey, you're at the house, you're taking care of things, and you want to see the grands, you haven't seen them in a while. Well, okay, well, listen, just go get them. Get to see your mom, your dad, pick the grands up, bring them back, and then we get a week and a half with them.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go to work, but you had quality time with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so even knowing that one of the little grands wants to come sleep right smack dab in the middle.
Whew,
It's
it's
like,
rough.
okay,
It's
you
a
know
rough
what?
time.
We ain't done this in a minute,
Yeah.
in a long time, several, many years.
Many
But you know what? It's
years.
a sacrifice
Yeah.
that you make,
Yeah.
and so it's not that big a deal. We're going back to being intentional
Mm-hmm.
with couples. You got to recognize that and say, hey, now's not the time to, because a ship can be off sail 1 degree, and over a period of time, they will be
Mm.
way off course.
Wow, baby.
And then you're gonna figure out, you're gonna be like, well, how did we get way over here? With just little things over time, disconnect, distractions, disruptions,
It's the
busyness
little
with work,
foxes that spoil the
challenges.
vine.
You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
couples have to be very intentional and say, well, wait a minute, we hadn't connected. And so sometimes we gotta say, hey, we need to plug in.
Yeah.
And I do mean plug in.
Yeah, that's what
So
we mean. That's what we mean. That's what we said.
you gotta go.
We
You gotta
said what
go.
we
We gotta
said.
go. We gotta go get recharged
You
here.
have to.
Yeah, we gotta go connect.
Yes.
Even we gotta go to the bathroom.
And so basically, women, what we are saying, if you missed it and it went over your head, you need to make sure that your husband is good. You need to make sure that that thing that your spouse liked before little Jane and John came along,
Hmm.
you need to make sure that your husband, his needs are met. And because he's going to make sure your needs are met. That
Hmm.
he's going to be a provider. He's going to make sure you're safe no matter what happens. You can have an attitude. You can do whatever you're doing, women. Like,
Hmm.
your spouse is going to make sure y'all are good. So I think that the just, yes, I said just thing that you should do, make sure your spouse is okay
Yeah,
in every way,
in every way.
ma'am. Okay.
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 No, but that was good. But it's been good having them here.
Yeah.
Just talking to the grands. It's just sometimes it reminds you. uh, it reminds you that man, God, dog, but we up
Yes.
there.
We
But
up there.
thank God. I mean, in terms of physically,
Right.
mentally, emotionally, we're still fit. We're still active.
We can impart into
We can go
them and give
impart.
them wisdom,
We
and
can,
that's
we can
the
get in the
part I
pool and
love.
swim
Yes.
with them. We could be just as active, but the GP, the grandparent mode kicks in after a while with too much noise and running around. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, go sit down somewhere.
That happened a couple of
A
times.
couple of times. So, but no, but it's been good talk.
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of that is that listen, compartmentalize, prioritize. This is the number one priority.
Right
Everything
here.
else is secondary.
Right here is
And
priority.
then we're talking about grands, but we're really talking about any area.
Anybody.
Anything. I don't care. You talking about church, work, school, family members, mother,
Children.
father, kids,
Right.
grandkids. They do not become a higher priority
Yes, they're
than
secondary.
you and your significant other.
This is primary. Everything else is secondary.
Secondary.
Yeah.
It'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Right?
Period.
And if it gets too much, then you got to start making some decisions and cutting things off.
Right.
So, but anyway, it's all good. It's been all good. So
Yeah.
that we just want to touch on that because since that's fresh. But love the grands.
Yeah.
And we know in the summers to come, we just got to be prepared for it mentally. And just make sure we got to sneak a few in every now and again when they sleep because I got to have it. Okay. Okay.
Okay, baby, I'm with it. Okay.
So another topic we wanted to talk about was speaking of children. I don't know how we got on this conversation, but we thought it was an interesting topic,
Right.
and it may be because we've seen this, right?
Yes.
We're not out as much as we used to, but one of the things that we did notice when we were out was this. It looks like parents are trying to compete with their kids or their children.
Oh, it looks like it. And we
You know what
see
I
a
mean? So
lot
I'll
of
just
it.
use this. I'm not. So women are out. I mean, you 36 now,
Right.
but you got an 18-year-old daughter.
Right.
Y'all both hanging at the same spot,
Mm-hmm.
and and I'm not gonna name any spots because I don't want to put nobody on blast. No free promo. But y'all hanging at the same spots.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I was about to go
Yeah,
in on
no,
it. But
no,
yeah,
I'm
okay.
not. We ain't,
I was
we
about to
ain't,
give him free promo. My
no, we
husband,
ain't,
like,
we ain't
okay,
gonna name no locations. Let's just say
okay,
you're out.
you're out.
And you dressing and looking and acting just like your 18-year-old daughter. In fact, it looks like you're trying to compete with your daughter.
Looks like you are.
So this whole idea of parents competing with their kids, and I'm going to read something because I
Okay.
pulled this up.
Okay.
Because we wanted to know, parents, how does that affect the children over time
Right.
and when they get into relationships, what that looks like, especially if it's not healthy,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And how does that affect the children when they get into their adult relationships, right?
Right.
So,
And so what we said though was romantic relationships.
romantic, yeah.
Whatever that is.
Right.
Whoever that is, yeah.
You're dating, you're engaged, you're married, whatever. Any
How does
type
that
of
manifest?
how does it
Yes.
manifest in your adult relationships romantically?
Right.
And so one of the things that I read here, it said parents competing with their children can have significant and often detrimental effects on the children's mental and emotional state, which carry over into their adult relationships and marriages. So we're going to get into some of the key impacts,
Okay.
but I want to read this list, and then I'm going to let you take that first one. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It said here are the top 10 reasons parents might be competitive with their children.
Okay.
Here are the top 10 reasons,
Okay.
right? That parents might be competitive with their children, right? So number one, unresolved personal ambitions. And I'm going to list them and we're going to talk a little bit about them. Parents may project their unfulfilled dreams onto their children, driving them to achieve what they couldn't. What do you think about that?
I think that men often do that more than women on that aspect.
Yeah, that's
We have football, and then we're talking sports, basketball, football. We're not mostly in the soccer world, but even that. And so men tend to drive their sons, no, I need you to do this because this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
And because I didn't get to do it, I want to live that vicariously through you. So
that's good, which is actually number two, living vicariously through the children, right? You didn't make it you didn't get a scholarship or you didn't make it to the pros, but you're driving your son or your daughter because you didn't do that. So that could be a reason why. Social pressures. Society equates parental success with their children's achievements,
Okay.
causing parents to compete to enhance their own social status. So your son or your daughter has made it, and now you feel some type of way, and so now you're trying to raise your status. You see that a lot with like a lot of the social media influencers, and the parents are like, well, when did you so you got a page too?
Right.
Your son or your daughter is Insta famous or whatever, but now you got a page, and now you're trying to compete on that level. Fear of failure.
You're right.
Parents may fear that their children's failures reflect poorly on them, prompting a competitive attitude to ensure success. So, that's that you shouldn't put that on your kids.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? Because you think it's a reflection of you. That's
Right.
your own poor
That's your
self-image.
own. You're right. Right. Exactly. I was about to say that, and you said it.
And then sibling rivalry, and there's a few others. But go to that first one, right? Because we were talking about how this carries over into relationships.
So, low self-esteem.
Right. So you're saying that parents competing with their kids, their adult kids, causes the children to have low self-esteem when they get into relationships.
Correct.
Okay.
And this can often start as like this can start young whenever a mom or dad, or let me say mom, speak because I'm a mom. I want to speak on from a woman's aspect. When you see that your child is developing, because our young girls are developing faster and they're more voluptuous sometimes than even their parents. So I want to talk about low self-esteem, and I want to read something here. Low self-esteem constant competition with a parent can undermine a child's self-esteem, making them feel they are never good enough. This can lead to a lack of confidence in adult relationships, causing issues with insecurity and dependence on validation from partners. So that's really big, because here's my thing. I don't want to be out with my mom and I feel like my mom is actually competing with me. We at the club, this is not even your age range, but you're with me at the club. But the daughter is allowing that because her mom, she's superior over me. So I'm gonna follow my mom's lead.
Right.
This is very detrimental, women. And y'all can say what you're going to say. Drop it in the comments and let's discuss it. If you are a woman of maturity and you are 20 years older than your child, you have absolutely no business competing with your daughter. You had your time. If you didn't have it, it's gone. It's okay. You need to act your age, and everything should be age appropriate. And I don't think that there's a problem with that. But if it is, drop it in the comment and let's talk about it, because I'm with it.
So, but go back to, and that's a good point. But go back to the daughter now. Okay, I get the dynamic. The mother's out, whatever. But now the daughter is in a relationship, and now she's feeling self-esteem issues, and
Yes.
she's with her guy.
Right.
And she needs constant. What did you
Validation.
say? So
I
to
need
talk
you to-
about that.
Okay,
Because
let's
my
pull it
mom
full
ain't doing it,
circle.
my dad ain't doing it, or whatever the case may be.
But now
they're competing with me.
But now it manifests in my relationship with you. So oftentimes this is probably what daughters do. Now, hey, I'm not feeling my best self because I was never able to just have the spotlight on me. Husband, I need you to tell me every day, I look good. You need to tell me my hair is pretty. And if you don't tell me that, I don't feel validated. And this can wear on the relationship because everybody was saying my mom looks good because obviously my mom is more developed than I am, but she's competing with me. Now the guys want to talk, oh, y'all both look young. Oh, that's your mama?
Mama, Miss Parker.
So, yes, Miss Parker. So now that I'm in a romantic relationship, I don't know what that is. That I don't have a person competing, but I need you to tell me what I need to hear, because I've not just been number one. I've had to compete with my mom. Not that I wanted to. I didn't want to compete with my mom. She set the tone for that. Now it's this energy on me.
So to take that a little bit further, so now you with your guy, y'all are out, and brother. Okay, first of all, the guy doesn't know that has been an issue. This is why we talk about having conversations and understanding.
You don't even know where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from. Hold on, let me
Correct.
get it. I don't know where it's coming from. So we're out.
No, I mean me. I don't know where it's coming
from. That's what I'm saying. So we're out, right? The couple, and you have this thing that's rooted in you that you had to, or your mom was always competing for time, attention, and affection from everyone,
Right.
pulling from you.
Right.
Now we're out. We're in a relationship, and now you need validation because you're insecure that, am I
Correct.
looking at somebody else?
Correct.
And you're secondary again.
I'm secondary.
Is that what that kind of means?
No, that's exactly what it means. My self-esteem
And I gotta
is
validate
at an
you. I gotta
all-time
validate.
low.
No, baby, you the one. I mean, no, I ain't worried about. But
Well,
then,
why did you look over there? But why are you looking at this woman?
Right.
But why are you looking at her?
I mean, because I was just looking in that direction. I wasn't looking at her.
No, it
I mean,
seemed to me that you were looking
at
her.
But I was just. But she's our waitress, and she was taking our order. I wasn't look. I got to look at her to give her my order.
So that's wherein lies where some men are getting this and they don't know, nor does the woman know where it's coming from. But I'm really hoping that we shed light on what's possibly going on.
Right, and this is why one of the questions has to be, tell me about your relationship with your mother. As you're getting to know somebody and you want to understand, you want to get, hey, what's the relationship with your mother? What's your relationship with your father? Your family dynamic.
Correct.
I mean, just not in an inquisition type of way, but just as y'all getting to know each other, just conversation.
But you know what? Quite honestly, like because of the time that we're in, I think that it needs to be an interview. And I hate to put it that way, but you're just like people are going for a job, and I need to understand if you are the correct match for our company. I need to understand that. You need to know if, hey, am I a good fit for this company? Do their core values line up? Relationships almost have to be an interview now,
So
and that's
we need a
unfortunate.
relationship resume.
No, we
Yeah, we
need
need a
a
relationship resume.
relationship
Hey,
resume.
we listen. That we gonna create
We're
a
gonna create
relationship
one
resume.
because it
Let
needs
me
to
see
be
your resume.
created. Yeah,
Right.
because
Let me see your profile.
yeah, because I need to know how you grew up. I need to know if your mom competed with you. I need to know if your dad competed with you because that matters because it's going to manifest itself somewhere in our romantic relationship.
And you say that just using you and I. Like I didn't have. My mom didn't compete with me. My dad didn't compete with me. God
My
rest his
mom
soul.
did not compete
There
with
was
me.
not a competition thing,
No,
right?
no.
So I never felt that part, which actually leads us into the second issue with parents competing with their kids and how that affects their relationships. Trust issues.
So let me read that.
Oh yeah, read that.
Trust issues. If a parent competes rather than supports, the child may grow up with trust issues, finding it hard to believe that others have their best interest at heart. This lack of interest can lead to
Lack
difficulties.
of trust.
This lack of trust can lead to difficulties in forming and maintaining healthy relationships. So, let me say something that I know, and this is on a personal level. There are things that happened when I was younger, and there are things that have happened with you guys, women, that your mom may have done something and now you don't trust your mom. What happens is, after you don't trust your mom, this is from my experience, and I'm not speaking for all women, just those that can relate. After this has happened where you don't trust your mom, you have a problem trusting people. This rolls over into the romantic relationship because it's now, can I trust you? Because the very person that you think you need to trust and should trust, they have betrayed whatever that was, whatever your what is was. You got a hard time.
Yeah, yeah, and again, and if you're not having these conversations with your significant other about history, relationships, experiences, you're being either party doesn't really matter. You're being challenged with this lack of trust when there hasn't been anything that you've done to even create that.
Right.
This is coming out of the fact that I had a parent, mother, father, and this goes both ways because there's some dudes out here competing with their sons. It's like, yo, bro, I mean, let the young lion have it, man. It's not you're not that guy anymore.
You're not.
Let your seed shine,
Right.
or go find somewhere else to shine somewhere else. Don't try to come and shine in his space. And so, there's reports or instances where fathers are shooting shots at the sons' girlfriends.
Absolutely, there are.
You know what I mean? So
I've heard of it.
so now you can't even trust your dad around anybody that you bring around because you can't trust, and then you questioning her because
Of what your old man did.
what he did, and then also you hearing what he's saying. He said, "Man, you don't know what to do with that. They women like older men anyway. I mean, just all this stuff
That's very
that's
good,
being
baby.
dropped on you, and now you're trying to navigate that. So now you're looking at your girl side eyed because you can't trust if she really down for you because you got issues trusting based upon your competitive nature from your old man.
From your old man.
He trying to be you, and you just trying to be the best version of you. So it does create relational issues that now you can't trust anyone, and now you questioning her about what her intentions are. But that's rooted in the fact that you can't even trust your old man,
Right.
because he's always competing with you or always competed with you. So trust is a big it will
It's
affect
huge.
the relationship.
This is huge on the relationship. I promise. I think more people would, if I can be honest, I think that more people will have something to say about this, about trust, more than anything else because they can't trust people. And it's not because you couldn't trust certain people, it's the parents. Your parents, like we can, y'all, I don't think that y'all really understand or we understand. We can really mess our kids up by giving them the disservice of being messed up. And when we mess up, when we're messed up, we project that onto our kids and we call it schizophrenic and bipolar. Well, what you think they're gonna be? You hurt them. Like I can be. What if I'm the? And I just want to put a sidebar. So what if I am the lightest and I have the best hair in my family, and everybody else is dark skinned, and you guys treat me a certain type of way because I don't look like you? And what normally doesn't make people feel comfortable and it makes you feel uncomfortable, you attack because you don't look like me. You got bright skin. You light.
And it's jealousy and envy. Let's just call it what it
That's
is.
that's what it is. And now you are attacking your sibling. They didn't mean to be. You need to go talk to God, ma'am and sir, because they didn't mean to be the color they are. They didn't mean to have the
go
color
talk to your mama
eyes.
about
Or
why
go talk
you-
to your mama about
about
what
what-
she did because she was dipping and skipping and hey. Well, yeah. Let's talk about that. But
Yeah, that's another subject.
that's yeah. But no, I wanted to include that because that was something that we said, and I thought that was very relevant.
Yeah.
And
that
it's very, very good.
Now you can't even trust your family because they've treated you a certain type of way.
Correct.
So how you going to go out in the world and and build healthy relationships? And this is what we talk about, unresolved issues. That's why people have to go
That's why we
unpack
don't
that.
trust people, and that's really what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Because of that trust, baby.
All right, so cool.
Okay.
So then the other, so resentment and anger, right?
Can I read?
Yeah,
I
go,
read?
no, go ahead.
Okay, and then I want you to speak on it, but I'm going to read about it. Children who feel their achievements are diminished by competing parents can harbor resentment and anger. In adulthood, this can manifest as conflict in relationships, difficulty in managing emotions, and challenges in resolving disagreements constructively. Okay? Speak on it, baby.
So I think on this one here, the resentment and anger, I'll say from a son standpoint and your father minimizing what you're accomplishing because they couldn't really do what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so they're always questioning. It's never good enough. They're minimizing what you've done, what you've accomplished.
You need to do more.
You shouldn't. That's not enough, man. That ain't, you know what I
Well,
mean?
I see what you did, but you need to do
That's
more.
not enough, right? And it's really a warped way of trying to motivate and push, because we as men, we tend to do that. We push a little harder. We forget about the sensitivity of a child and all the things that you're putting in them, and it doesn't work for everybody. You got to know your child, but it does create that internal resentment and anger, and for a season that probably helps you, especially if you're in really competitive sports, right? That anger, that drive to prove that parent wrong, probably helps fuel you, right?
Right.
It'll fuel you through high school, through college, even if you make it into the pros, that drive, you know what I mean? Because they telling you what you haven't done, and you're going to overachieve. Now, the problem happens is that you haven't really processed that right. And when you get in relationships, and then your wife, your significant other has a question, or they're asking about a particular thing, or maybe they say, hey, well, we could have done this. You get offended because they're giving you another option or a way, a perspective to look at a thing. You're taking it as critique.
As your dad
As
did
criticism, as your dad did.
Right.
As opposed to, this is your significant other, he or she has your best interests at heart. They're going to cover your blind spots. They're just giving you a perspective. And so you haven't really processed through all of that resentment and anger from your efforts and achievements being diminished by your father or mother. Because a lot of young boys grew up with single mothers.
Right.
And it can go both ways.
Right.
But just that resentment that you ain't good enough and you ain't done enough and your achievements ain't nothing and all of that. So now you get in relationships, and anytime there's a question about any achievement, it's marginalized or minimized. And it causes, what do we say? It causes difficulty in managing emotions
Right.
and challenges in resolving disagreements constructively.
That's very
So now
important.
you cannot even work through any conflict with your partner because you're taking it as a critique that was rooted in how your mother, your father, or your uncle, whoever raised you, minimize or marginalize your accomplishments or achievements. And that's where that anger and resentment comes into play in your relationship.
In your
And remember what I
relationship.
said.
Yeah.
It can fuel you
Right.
competitively,
Right.
right? I'm hooping. I mean, I'm going all in.
But the problem is when people try to pull that into a relationship and it starts to manifest itself and not in a positive light.
Not in a positive. And just being a
Right.
former athlete, I still like to think I'm an athlete, but
You are.
when you're not competing like at that level anymore, you don't know what to do with all of those emotions and that energy because you could take that out on the court. You can take that out on the field. You can take that out on a track or whatever it is that you're doing aggressively.
Right.
But
But
you can't really,
relationally,
but relationally, it's gonna go one or two ways.
how
It's
does
gonna be
that
bad.
appropriate itself? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either you're gonna shut down and not communicate, or you're gonna be one that's very aggressive and abusive. Either way is destructive.
So this is why it's very important to understand where your partner came from. Like you need to know and ask a lot of questions about their childhood. Asking a lot of questions about a person's childhood will help you to gain more clarity. But I have to say this. You can ask all those questions, but if you're broken yourself, those questions mean absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Cool.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so here's the next one. Can I read it, babe?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Need for
Read.
need ready read. That's a church stuff, sorry. Need for approval. A competitive parent-child dynamic can create a lifelong need for approval and validation, often seeking it from a spouse or partner. This dependency can strain relationships, making them less balanced and more prone to conflict. And this is the need for approval. Can I say something before we go in on
You
this?
can. No, we going in when
So
you say something.
so I've had conversation and with people, and sometimes women, like if I have an Instagram page, for instance, if I have a Facebook page, all of my pictures I've posted by far. So to send them to a friend, the same posts that are on Instagram and the same posts that are on Facebook, to double back and send them to my friend, I'm trying to get validation from my friend. I want to let you know if you are that girl that you do that, you need to seek counseling. And I'm saying that because you are looking for validation from a friend, and you need to understand that you shouldn't have to do that. Your validation needs to come within. It needs to come from your spouse, because I want to take this on the aspect of that you're married. So if you're married and you're sending those pictures that are already on Facebook and Instagram that your friend sees, and you're sending them to her, you're in error. And you need to check that out. This is a problem. And so my question is, are you having or have you had issues with your mom competing with you, not validating you? Because those things come from my moms oftentimes.
Yeah. I'm going to add to that and say, when I think about the need for approval, because of what it says, the dependency on that in a relationship, not forget about friends for a second, put that to the side, but in a relationship, the need for constant approval and validation. It says it can put a strain on a relationship because you know why? That's exhausting.
Yeah.
Just think about from a female's, a woman's standpoint. if your man always needs you to encourage, like he is
Baby, you
so
look good.
broken, and that he needs you to approve of him constantly, that becomes exhausting. Women want a man that's confident, that's self-assured,
Yes.
that has self-esteem, not arrogant, but he's
He's
confident.
confident.
You,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And that's exhausting.
Yes.
So if that's something that you grew up and maybe your mom did that or your dad did it or whatever the case may be, and now you're in a relationship and you expect your spouse to give you valid and approve about every single
Everything.
thing. I'm telling you, that's exhausting, and it does put a strain on the relationship, and it does cause individuals to want to escape for a period of time from
Yes.
that.
Yes, it does.
Because honestly, real talk, what will happen is that you go meet somebody, or just not meet, but just you start talking to other people, and like, well, man, this person confident, they're sure. Like from a woman's standpoint, your man needs constant validation, constant approval, constant bill. I mean, just constantly. And then you out with your girls and you meet some dude that come across as confident and sure. That's really what you desire. But you're dealing with this baby boy over here that you got to constantly build him up because he needs approval. That's gonna put a strain on a relationship.
So
That that's that's a problem.
but I'm glad that you said that because we're talking about basically how people compete, how women, mothers or fathers compete with their young adults or children, and then how does that manifest itself in the relationship? So you saying that was very good that you brought it back around, and I'm saying that because oftentimes you know what happens and what I just stated about the Instagram, you got
Right,
your
right. The
pictures over
friend,
there
yeah.
and you got your friend, because your husband he's checked out. He's tired of that. He can't keep up with. I don't know what's wrong with you, and I can't help you because I don't know where this stems from. But maybe the question is this stemming from a relationship that you did have with your mom that you had to compete with your mother?
And
Okay?
you need a constant approval.
And you need constant approval.
Yep.
Yeah. So, the next one, can I read it, baby?
Yes.
Difficulty in setting boundaries. So, this is something that happens whenever you guys or we as children have to compete with our parents. Difficulty in setting boundaries. Children who grow up with competing parents might struggle to set healthy boundaries in their adult relationships. They might either become too passive, allowing their partner to dominate, or
Overly.
overly defensive, seeing every disagreement as a competition. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Baby, how many arguments have been had with people, and either one is like, I'm just not going to say anything, I'm just going to be quiet, or you have one, they're going toe to toe with you because this is what they learned from their parent. I have to compete with my mom and dad. So now I'm taking this into my romantic relationship and I got to compete with my partner on
Yeah.
everything. The bag, okay? I got to compete with you with the bag, and I got to make sure my bag is just like yours. So what we talking about? You can't tell me nothing, women.
Right.
Negative. That is wrong. Or it can be in this. Whatever you say.
And here's the thing, I'm gonna jump in on that because in more cases, more often than not, it causes the kid, because I think the first thing you said was that they become very passive, allowing the other person to dominate. Because
Right.
if your parent is competing with you, you tend to fall back, because what are you gonna do?
You
It's your
don't, because you
parent.
want to honor them.
Because you don't want to be
You don't want to be
disrespectful. So you
disrespectful. That's
fall
what we've been
back.
taught.
And now when you get in a relationship, when you feel that energy, and then speaking about in a relationship, especially now you're in a relationship, now your partner's competing with you and you live in the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Now you got to compete with your husband, or your husband's competing with you, or your wife's competing with you, and there's this constant conflict. And so you fall back and you just let them dominate. It's like, whatever, you check out. right? You check out, and you don't know how to redefine those boundaries because
Right.
you couldn't do that with your parents. Okay, that's good. That's good. And then it says every disagreement. And we talk about it in relationship.
Right.
Every disagreement now is a competition because guess what? And you shared this with me, you too. There's certain things that I wanted to say to other people that I couldn't because I was a child.
Yeah.
I was too young,
Right.
right? People were saying something about my mom or my family. I was too little to
Right.
say anything.
Right.
But as you got older,
Yeah.
then it went straight beast mode.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, so now it becomes a competition. I couldn't say nothing then.
But now?
Now, if I feel like you're trying to compete with me, I'm going all in.
Right.
It's war.
Right.
So now you're in a relationship with your partner, and it's a wartime when it should be peacetime.
Peacetime. You should okay, so and saying that and I'm you should never compete with your spouse. Y'all are a team. The only team you should be competing with is the other team. Y'all are a team. So what does that sound like? I'm just that sounds wicked and weird to me.
Yeah.
But this is what we do, women and men.
Parents.
Parents.
When you're competing
Parents,
with
why
your
are you
kids.
trying to compete with your kid? If you are a parent right now and you're hearing me and this resonates with you, go ahead and receive it. You know, because some of you right now, you're hearing me and you want to challenge it. Oh, well, no, you wrong, ma'am. If you are 36 and your daughter or son is 18, ma'am or sir, you should not be competing with them. You were that age one time. Whatever you missed, you missed. And whatever
Yeah.
you gained, you gained. But now we should be maturing so that we can assist them. I don't want to dress like my daughter. If I'm dressing like my daughter, I got some issues right now.
Yeah.
If you're dressing like your daughter, and hey, I have no problem with people having great bodies. So you can get on Instagram. You can say whatever you're about to say about this. I don't give up. Yeah. And you can say what you want to say, but what I'm saying is we should not be competing with our children. We've been their age. Grow the up.
Because if you're still doing that, I would ask, how is your relationship with your significant other? Right? If you're doing that, how's your relationship? If you still have that mindset, how is your relation? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how that affects your adult
Your
relationship.
relationship.
So
Absolutely.
let me do this last one. We're gonna do this
Okay.
last one.
Okay.
Right? It has an impact on communication. Right? Competing parents with their children. Children's become adults. They're in their own relationships. Now that child in their adult relationship has a problem or an issue with communication. Here's what it says.
Okay.
A competitive dynamic can affect communication patterns, making it hard for the adult to express themselves openly and honestly. This can result in misunderstandings, unresolved conflicts, and a lack of intimacy in their relationships, which is a big, big problem. So when I read that, it's like, okay, why would it make it harder for you as an adult to express yourself openly and honestly? Could it be that when you were the child, and you could have been a young adult, right? So when we say child, we don't mean necessarily
Yeah, a
just
child,
like
right.
11, 12 years old.
No.
You could be 18.
Yeah, you could be
and your
21.
You'd be 21. Your mom's 42,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And what happens is, because you can't really tell your parent how you feel about them, you got your friends over, your mom comes out and she's trying to, take all the attention
She's dressed inappropriately. Let's talk
and
about
all,
that.
all of
Like
that.
y'all.
And she's taking all the attention. Now, what they might say is, man, your mom cool. Or it might be that, hey, your pops is cool. I was a cool, yeah,
I'm
I still
cool.
am. I still am.
We're cool
We're both still cool.
parents. Yeah.
But we give our kids space. Like, no, I'm not trying to come in and be the star of your show. Like, this your
Yeah.
thing. Like, we're going to fall back and let you do it.
Right.
But what happens is, now you're in a relationship, and because you couldn't be honest and open with your parents about how they
Right.
made you feel,
Right.
now you can't be open and honest with your partner about how they're making you feel in situations. And all we're saying is that, listen, we're not therapists, right? We go to therapy, but we're not therapists. But I would dare to say most of them will say adult issues have to do with child or young adult traumas or issues that have been unresolved
Right.
that they haven't dealt with. So,
I agree with that. And, babe, I really like this because I seem to think that oftentimes we may not know the root cause of certain issues. Even listening to us now, like our objectives, our objective is to just really galvanize, and we want you guys, like we want a if I can say a shock factor, like I need you to be excited about, I need to know what's wrong with me like never before. Could it be that your mom, for a woman, your mom, maybe she wasn't there and you had a stepmom and she didn't pay attention to you? And, when you get in front of other women, I've had this before. You get in front of other women, you do the most because you want to seek the most attention. You are dressed a certain way because you need to seek the most attention. That's not how you seek attention, though. And nobody ever sat you down to tell you it's okay, whatever you went through. It's okay, whatever you feel. But this is not the appropriate way to get what you want. You want healing. You don't want attention.
yeah.
And this is true.
Listen, that is a good point. And so we are going to close with that. Here's what we'll say. Addressing these issues, it really requires self-awareness. Like you really have to be
That's good.
self-aware and in some cases go seek professional help. And that's kind of taboo. You need help, right? We all need some help.
We
right?
we have the same counselor. We go to her individually, Dr. Ogletree, Pamela Ogletree. She is our therapist. Please go look her up for anyone who needs assistance. We see
yeah.
her individually and we see her together.
Yeah, but again, professional help, because you have to unlearn certain patterns and behaviors. You got to number one identify it and say, okay, you know what? I didn't realize that's what was going on.
Right.
I didn't realize how much that affected me growing up. I didn't realize how much resentment and anger I had because of whatever, right? And then also give your parents grace, right? Because maybe they just didn't know. Because we're talking about this now because if you break that curse and you just bring awareness to it and you're open to like getting help to understand, you've got to unlearn unhealthy patterns and develop a healthier relationship skill set. But you got to do that intentionally. And that's really what Balcony Talk is all about. Having open and honest and authentic and real conversations so that you can become the best version of yourself. Number one, for you, but number two, the person that you're with. Because if you can't do that, you will forever be in this perpetual cycle of misunderstanding, miscommunication, unfulfillment. You got to be honest and get the help. So,
Can I say one more thing and then I'm done? I appreciate that you didn't heal me, but you created a safe space for me to heal. You allowed me to regurgitate all of the things I've never been able to tell anybody in my life. You allowed me to say that to you. This is a part of Balcony Talk. This is what we're trying to get people to understand. You have never come back and said, oh, well, this and this and that. Like, I've never heard it, but you allowed me to heal by just being a safe space for me to talk to. And you don't do things that may trigger me. You just don't. And I appreciate that about you. And that's very important for people to have a partner that can reciprocate.
no, I appreciate that you appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, but listen, find you a balcony where you can create a safe space. That's all we're talking about here. Find you a balcony. This has been Balcony Talk with the Nelsons, the Love and Truth podcast. I hope you took at least one or two things away from this conversation that can help. Remember, go pick up you some merch, the brand.
Right.
I am the brand365.com. And until next time.
And you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on all platforms: iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout,
Apple.
Apple,
Where's
YouTube.
yeah, YouTube.
Definitely. And guys, please subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to build up our channel and build up our community, and you guys are the catalyst to that, and we
Subscribe to our
appreciate
YouTube
you.
channel. Go to our Balcony Talk WTN and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate
Yeah.
the support
Thank you.
and love. Thank you in advance. All right?
All right.
Appreciate
Good.
it. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.